Where to begin? Well, I think that maybe me sharing a little bit about myself and why me? Why do I have this mission to share love and who am I? I thought I'd start with sharing my love story. So I moved to Los Angeles in 2011. Actually left home in Idaho on 11/11/11. And I moved to LA to pursue an acting career. And I was also practicing Buddhism. And so I really moved to LA with the determination to become what I called an acting monk. I just wanted to focus on my career and my spiritual practice. I didn't want to date. I wasn't looking for love. Although the year that I moved there in 2011, I did make a declaration to the universe that I was ready for a long-term committed relationship, and if I happened to marry the next person I date, I was okay with that. And that's it. I just knew that I didn't want to like date casually. So I told the universe, if I happen to marry the next person I date, that's fine. Anyway, the year before I moved to LA, I was determined to manifest the perfect one bedroom in Santa Monica with a washer and dryer for under $1,000 a month in a safe neighborhood. Like, I was certain that I could manifest anything that I wanted, and naive maybe, but I was really sincerely working toward manifesting this dream place, and I set up a temporary living situation for myself to land in LA. And I was under the impression that I would have 1 to 3 months, and I thought that would give me enough time to find this unicorn apartment. But the day that I arrived in LA, they said I could only stay for 2 weeks. So I'm really proud of myself. I didn't even flinch, and I just said, okay, thank you so much. And I pulled out my Buddhist altar and I began, I took this one bedroom that I was really desiring deeply, and I chucked it out the window, and I just started chanting that I would find the best place for me, whatever that is. And at this point, I didn't care if it was a sublet or a roommate or, anything. I really wanted to live alone, but at that point I was like, I just need a place to live, and I need the best place for me, whatever it is. So 2 days later, I came across an ad on Craigslist, and I answered the ad. I came to see the place the next morning, and it was this really good-looking guy, my age, renting out a room in his apartment. And he had had his own story about a roommate that was supposed to move in that bailed. And so he needed to find a roommate immediately as well. So we met, we really hit it off, and we continued to text message even after I left. And at one point he just said, you know what, I have a good feeling about you. What do you say? You want to meet with my landlord and fill out an application? And I said, yeah, sure. So I did that, and I qualified, and we decided to go out that night and celebrate that we're going to be new roommates. And we consider that our first date now, because we just could not stop talking, and we had so much fun. We were so playful, and we were just open and honest because there was no pressure. And the bar shut down, they kicked us out. We continued to talk on the street. We just had such a great connection. But he went away for a couple weeks before I moved in, and that gave us time to get to know each other before I actually moved into the apartment. And so during that time, we were texting or we were talking on the phone, and we really built this friendship. And so by the time I moved in, I really had feelings for this guy. And I told myself, if he doesn't make a move in 2 months, then I'm gonna make a move. Well, the day after I moved in, the landlord came over and brought over the lease for us to sign. It was a 6-month lease, and I'm signing the first page, and he just casually throws out this little joke like, oh, by the way, you just signed a lifetime lease. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna pretend that's normal. Next page, sign, and your firstborn child. And I'm like, okay. Oh, I was sort of like shell shocked that he was saying those things, but also trying to just kind of like laugh it off. And then that night we were celebrating, getting to know each other, sharing our like art with one another and the kind of music that we like. And he leaned over and he kissed me. And the old me would have been like, okay, just enjoy, go with the flow. But the new me was like, hold up, what are we doing? Because I just signed a 6-month lease and I'm at a point in my life where I'm ready for a long-term committed relationship. So if you're not, then we need to stop right now and I'll go back to my room and, I think we are good enough friends. We could just laugh this off. And so, we stayed up talking for a couple hours after that about where are you in your life and where am I in my life and are you ready for a relationship? And I was just so open and vulnerable. I didn't hide anything. And I told him flat out, like, I don't know why, I can't explain it, but if you brought somebody else home, I'd feel really jealous. And he shared the same thing about me. And so we just, at one point, he grabbed me and he kissed me really hard and he just said, yes, I want to make this work. And so that was the second night that we were living together. And it was I'd only been in LA for 2 weeks. And the next following week, I came home and he had written in rose petals on my bed, will you be my girlfriend? And no one had ever even asked me to be their girlfriend before, let alone in rose petals. So I was like, who is this guy? And then 3 weeks after that, it was New Year's Eve, 2011, turning to 2012. And we were at a rave in San Diego and it was right before midnight. Andre's really tall, so he had to lean down and whisper in my ear. He said, Sierra, I love you. And, well, actually, he said, Sierra, I don't know how I could ever leave you. And Sierra, I love you. And I told him, I love you too. And we just knew that night, like, we'd found the one and we would spend the rest of our lives together. But the most significant part was actually the following day. The following day, New Year's Day, I woke up and I just burst into tears. And I cried uncontrollably for the next 8 hours. Andre just held me. He didn't even ask questions. And he just allowed me to have this spiritual purge, this release. And it was like a dam had broke and lifetimes of tears came flowing through me. And they were simultaneously tears of sorrow because I could feel the heaviness, the weight of how many lifetimes we'd been separated. But I also, it was simultaneously like tears of joy, the happiest tears that I'd ever cried in my entire life because we'd found each other again. And that was this sort of ticker tape that just kept repeating in my head, was like, I can't believe I found you again. I can't believe I found you again. And throughout all this, I was having visions of our souls reuniting in the cosmos and just this like love explosion going off that, we did it. We found each other again and the cosmos were celebrating with us. So it was so profound. And, 9 months later, he asked me to marry him and we got engaged. And then a month after that, I'd signed up on theknot.com, which is where you go when you are newly engaged. And they released a contest, like a nationwide contest, enter to win the Knot Dream Wedding, which was a $100,000 dream wedding package in New York City in Bryant Park on Valentine's Day. And so I was like, Andre, we're perfect for this. And he even said, no one ever wins those things. But we entered anyway. We made a really cute little short film, entrance video. We just had to say why our story is so unique and romantic and why we should win. And long story short, we won this incredible wedding package. So we got married in Bryant Park on Valentine's Day the next year. And it was just so unbelievable how the universe was like bringing us together so quickly. It was like, meet, marry, go now, everything conspired to make it happen so fast. And it was so fast, it was almost like scaring me, to be honest. And I talk about that in my book. The first chapter in my book is doubt versus faith. So, this is really a complete compilation of everything that I feel like I learned and I experienced and I did, exercise or ceremony or, whatever to attract this kind of love into my life. And in 2020 is when this book came through to me, and it came in as a workbook. So I feel like it's just my life's mission now to help people reunite with their cosmic love partners. And it really starts with developing cosmic love within yourself, becoming the vibration of love, a beacon of love in the world. And so in this book, I teach you how to do that based off of how I did it. So that's just in a 11-minute nutshell, my story and why I feel like I'm the one to guide you. So if you feel called to be in my orbit, then please join me, and I would love to guide you to the best of my abilities. Thank you for being here.